Might be just me and you, but it's early for some people. I've been up for like 4 hours. Oh, we got some people coming in. So it is Saturday morning, 7:40 my time. So that would be 6:40 Pacific and 9:40 East Coast time. And if you're outside of the U.S., no idea. So I thought I'd do something a little different today. Again, this is going to be a live video that I only probably after an hour or so, I'm going to delete it, or not delete it, but make it private. But I wanted you guys to see how I do a review. I've already taken pictures of the piece and I unboxed it live on the Extreme channel yesterday, but I want you guys to see that I really don't have a script. I just go with the flow. So how many people are on? Six people. Well, you 6 people are going to hang out with me for the next 20 minutes. But for the most part, I don't edit shit. I just go. I don't plan what I'm going to say. I do usually look up the edition size. If it's a character I don't know much about, like this guy, I also do a little bit of research. Usually I'll just look at like Prime One or Sideshow's website. But for a flight, where are you going, Tim? Kansas. I used to live in KCK for a year and a half. Didn't like it. All right, so we're going to get started. So I got the camera set up. It's actually already been rolling. I got my background information, and I got like 20 messages, PMs to answer. But so I'm going to tell them that you guys are watching. Yeah, we go to Disney every year. Yes, we alternate between World and Land. So this year was World. Galaxy's Edge, the preliminary opening was actually pretty cool. So I'm going to get started. I don't know if I'm going to look at you guys at all, but my wife is in entertainment here. That could be good or bad. So, and Huskers play today. They're going to get demolished by Ohio State. I expect them to lose by 60 points, so anything less than that, I'll be happy. But let's get started. So first I filmed the intro, and I just try and think of something funny. So let's get started. Mr. X here with the Extreme channel coming at you. This is really weird today because people are watching. People are watching live. Yes, that's right. Right over here, there's a laptop with a camera, and there's actually another YouTube video going on that if you missed out on it, too bad, because it was fucking amazing. And I don't keep those on the channel once they go live, so maybe you should get up earlier on a Saturday. And if this is your first time watching the channel, you're probably freaking out. Who the fuck does this guy think he is? I'm going to drop a lot of F-bombs today. I don't know why. Sometimes I'm like that. Maybe it's because I'm around this bloody-ass, crazy-looking statue. But that's what we're going to do today. We're going to review this piece from Prime One. It is from a video game that I don't know anything about, but it is a pretty badass piece. And if you saw my review on Deadman by Prime One, I bought that more because not necessarily a love of the character, but a love of the art. And I was speculating that this is what this was going to be. And I'm always right, unless I talk to my wife. See, and then I freeze right there, and I roll the intro, the 1-minute intro that most people probably fast forward through. Or, I do shit in the meantime, like I adjust my, no pants. I adjust that, or blow my nose, or look at who just PM'd me. I need to figure out, blah, annoyed. They just censored your comments. So I really do keep tissues here. So these are the outtakes. These aren't really outtakes. This is just in between the filming. So I got to figure out. Going to jump into this guy. All right. Ready? So usually I don't do transitions. I just go all the way through the 15 minutes of talking, but I'll do some transitions for you guys. So Mr. X with the Extreme Channel, and I have quarter scale Hunter statue from Prime 1. This is from the Bloodborne series. Bloodborne is a video game that I've never played before, but I now own 2 pieces from that. Go check out my review on Lady Maria, I think. Shit. So every once in a while, I will redo everything. So I'm going to redo all that. No, I'm kidding. I'm just doing that because you guys are here. Mr. X here with the Extreme Channel, and I have a crazy piece here. This is by Prime 1 Studios. It is the Hunter from Bloodborne video game, which we're going to talk about in a second. This is quarter scale. What quarter scale means is it's 1/4 the size of what it would be like in real life. So, for example, if I was 8 feet tall, I would be a 2 foot tall statue. 8 divided by 4 equals 2. Check my math. So I purchased him because I just thought it looked fantastic, and I actually do have another piece from this line from the Bloodborne video game. It's the Lady Maria review I did, so go check that out. Here's a picture. Anytime I say here's a picture, I kind of pause or do whatever the hell I want because when I edit it, and I usually don't plan that ahead of time. No, Rue, I'm looking at the actual camera that's filming the review. So where the fuck was I? Oh, Lady Maria review. So the Bloodborne video game, from what I understand, is you're a hunter like him, and you are going out to kill other people. I don't know if it's RPG, shortened for role-playing game. When I played video games when I was young, RPG was my favorite. My absolute favorite was Shining Force, but I love the Final Fantasies, the original 1, 2, 3, some of the other ones that spawned off from that whole series. So I don't know. I think this is an RPG. Lady Maria, the review I did, she's a villain. This is the protagonist, the hero. I believe he's the main character you can be. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. Even if I'm not wrong, I'm usually corrected by my wife. And essentially, he's kind of a guy that was brought up in, not medieval times, but, turn of the century, that type of stuff, turn of the 19th century. And he came from kind of middle upper class, but eventually he started hunting and killing people. And I think they do it for money, not necessarily for sport. And there's also a non-human element to this, which I'm unfamiliar with, because as you see, this is kind of a diorama, which we're going to talk about in the concept and design. So this guy does not appear to be human to me. Purchased him directly from Prime 1 Studios. They did their economy shipping, so shipping was like $30. It was a very large package that had 2 layers of white styrofoam and tons of different pieces. So let's break that down really quick. The base is 1 piece. This pole in the back is another. There's 2 fence pieces. The guy on the ground is 1 piece minus his 2 arms are separate. His sickle, scythe, whatever you want to call that, hook, the big hook on the back is another. These 2 lights up here are another piece. The hunter is 1 piece minus his arms. So all that goes together, and there are a ton of switch outs on this piece. So let's check those out. So first of all, if you don't want this really tall ass light, which it looks really, really cool, but if it's too tall for your display, too tall, then you can switch it out with this guy right here. So here's a picture of the switch out, and then just kind of a comparison. Here is a picture of the light. Then the other switch outs you have are with the hunter himself, and they are all right arm switch outs. Now, 2 of them come with every single statue they made. They made 3,250 of these, so 3,250. However, 2,000 of them are what we call the collector's or regular edition, and 1,250 are the exclusive. Traditionally, the exclusive comes with a little Easter egg, something different, something extra. This Easter egg has a 3rd right arm switch out, which we're going to look at all of them. They both price for the $799, and sometimes the exclusive is a little bit more depending on what the switch out is. Sometimes it's not. So the 3 different right arms you can have on this guy. One is this huge blade, sickle type weapon that I show here. This is kind of my favorite. But very closely, equally, I also like this huge big ass axe he has. And then last is the exclusive version that only comes with 1,250 of these. It's a cane. Kind of stupid if you ask me. What kind of badass killer is he if he just carries around this cane? But realistically, maybe he's so badass that's all he needs. So in my opinion, this is an exclusive that is not needed. However, I got the exclusive because it was available and it was the same price. So a lot of different switch outs. Let's get some measurements on him, which is going to be kind of difficult, but technically from his gun to the back, it's 21 inches. The width, I always have problems saying width on camera. Girth, about 18 inches. And the height with this is damn near 32 and a half inches. If you want exact dimensions, go to Prime One or Sideshow's website. So Prime One manufactured this and Sideshow distributes it, but you can also get it directly from Prime One like I did. So we're going to do a transition in between the different subjects we do. We just got finished with the background and we're going to go into the traditional concept next. The reason we're doing transitions in this particular video is I'm going to talk to the people who are watching right now because they could be making faces at me or getting naked, weird shit like that, and I don't even know. So hang on. Let's see. Who works on Saturday? Everybody works. Lots of comments here. Naked Squad. Oh, shit. Microphone. See, I don't have any pockets. All right, let me, God, my PMs are fucking blowing up. All right, so next we're going to talk about concept and design. So there's two aspects to that. I don't even know who that is. One is just concept is kind of what they did with it, and then design is how it was put together. They blocked your I hate man boobs. Rue, I had to unblock that. And now you're Birdman. All right. So let's roll. Let's do usually. See, you guys are throwing me off. All right. So this camera is for the other YouTube people. All right. So now we're going to talk about concept and design of this piece. So part of me can't really judge this because I've never played the game. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know if this is an actual character from the that you fight or if it's just a random guy they put on there. Kind of an interesting note too is when we do the close-ups of the pictures of this, after I put them together, I can't get a close-up of his face just the way my camera, where's it at? It's way back there, tries to fit underneath this. So when I take them apart, because this is actually going to go back to my office, it's kind of that medieval theme. I didn't talk about this in background info, but at my office I have a kind of a Court of the Dead, Bat King, Eridan, kind of a medieval knight theme, and I think this goes very well with that. But for this particular piece, starting at the base, you have a lot of different things going on here. So obviously, you know, he's killed one of his enemies who's dead. His enemy is inhuman due to the long arms and some of the long fingernails we're going to see in some of his facial features that you'll see. You see some spilled chemicals, which kind of have to tie to the Hunter's storyline because he did get very ill and he was looking for a cure. So I don't know if that was intentionally made about that. He's standing over him. Not only is he victorious with, you know, the weapon in the right hand, but in his left hand, he has a gun. So obviously someone else is coming at him, or maybe he knew someone was going to take a picture. I don't know. But he's standing over him, very victorious. And this whole background, like I said, very 19th century, kind of reminds me of a Jack the Ripper type thing. And it's very, very cool. The paint and sculpt is excellent, which we're going to go over, but really cool concept. And what I really like about this is the fact that it is a diorama. So essentially, you have a massive base with a lot going on. You have 2 quarter scale characters, and it was $799. Where, recently Prime One puts up Ryu for $13.49. They put up Predator for $14.99 or $15.99, however much that was. So this is really a good deal, and my guess is that's for 2 reasons. Reason number 1 is the license for Bloodborne is probably much cheaper than Predator or Street Fighter or Dragon Ball Z. And second reason is I don't think this is very popular. I think this is still available on both Sideshow and Prime One because not a lot of people play this. Or this isn't always the case, but a lot of times people that play a lot of video games don't have money to buy an $800 toy. They're toys. Design-wise, there was a couple issues with this guy. So first of all, the arms right here on the right, they are all held by a peg and key. Or a peg. So I'm really worried because gravity will naturally eventually make those fall off. The other design issue, I don't really say this was a design issue, but the fence itself is very loose. So that concerns me. These are actually 2 separate pieces. One connects to this pillar, one connects to the bottom. Then lastly, really pissed me off. I came down to this. I unboxed it yesterday. This right arm you have to keep pushing back in. Well, not only that, but I came down this morning and I moved it like this, and this entire right arm not only fell off 2 inches, which really isn't a big deal, but it broke right in the middle. And I'm using my normal Loctite glue that I use, and it will not go back together. There's something on the middle, some kind of material. So it's really just setting in there for now. So really hurts the resale value because I could see myself selling this down the road, not because it's not awesome, but because it's just something I'm not as familiar with. So I don't have a tie to the character itself. So those are a few issues I think they could have helped with the design. All right, let's see. So now what do we got going on? Yeah, Craig, they are painting the proto for the Omega Red right now. So I would guess it's very, very slow because the commissioner wants it perfect. He's very much into details. So I'm guessing that'll take another month and then production will start. So that's usually 3 months. And then the QC process will probably be another couple months. So I'd say Q2 next year. And I'm just guessing. All right. So now I'm going to jump into the paint and sculpt. I never know what to do with my hands. What should I do with my hands? I mean, under the table, hit PJ. No, I'm not one nut. I just don't like it. So I have the other 4. Put them down, Ricky Bobby. That is such a good show. Baby Jesus. Magic Man. That's the coolest slogan ever. All right, so now let's jump into paint and sculpt. So I think this video is already running a little bit long. And as we dive into the paint and sculpt, I'm going to kind of highlight over some stuff because there is so much going on with the fact that we have 2 characters and we have the base. There's just tons and tons going on. And really quick, I'm going to transition out now because I want to let a little secret in to the people watching. Whenever I start background info, concept and design, paint and sculpt, usually I go to close-ups right away, but I need about 10 seconds to have that title, the paint and sculpt, on there. So if I say, Let's talk about the paint and sculpt, starting at the base, and then I jump into the base right away. That paint and sculpt title is covering up some of the details of the statue. So I always give some bullshit reason to kind of exasperate, that's not the right word, exaggerate that time talking about. So I'm about to go into paint and sculpt, and I think of something to talk about for 10 seconds, just kind of a little trick there. And right now what we'll do on this, we'll just start at the base. So the close-ups will start as we go in. I know it's not the right word. What country are you in right now, Matinee? Dude's always in China or Africa and I'm gonna meet you next week, man. I'm pumped. I'm excited to meet everyone, but I'm really excited to meet you. I hope you're as dynamic in person. Okay. Starting at the sub base here, you have kind of this standard black sub base with this decorative inlay on the outsides, and it consists of this gold and black ring with all these different designs, and I can't quite tell what they are. They look like angel wings. I don't know if it's specific from the game. And every few inches or so, you have this vertical post with silver and blue, whole bunch of different colors. It's really neat, and it very much reminds me of the Maria. So I also think the Eileen statue, which I'm not getting from this line, would also have that. And you'll see some dust on here, which I think this piece has been out for a while. It's crazy to me that these pieces still collect dust in the boxes. Moving on to the regular base here, starting with the stonework on the bottom, it looks fantastic. They did a great job with the sculpt on it. So first of all, you have stones jutting out all over, and you have different textures. I like that. So it really shows that when the sculptor was working on this, he paid attention to detail. And that same can be said with the stones moving up the wall on the sides and the back around the stairs. Again, jutting out. And the paint application is pretty cool. So different colors of browns and grays and all that in there. And then also you see kind of this water line in between the bricks where like the mortar would be. So very, very cool. And some of the bricks are crumbling and old. And that's seen on the other side of the staircase too. And they have this awesome water effect by the candles and the spilled, what I call medicine containers on the front. Very much reminds me of Queen Studios Anaconda versus Crocodile and the Prime 1 Killer Croc. Very cool water effect, and it's deeper in some places, some of the places by the water bottles than it is in some of the other parts of the statue. And then moving on to this Inhuman guy that he killed. Again, very, very cool. So first of all, the blood app looks pretty decent. I wish that it wasn't just paint. I wish there was some sculpt to it. I think that was a miss, but it has kind of this not shiny, but a little bit of glistening effect, and it's faded as it runs down the walls, which makes it look like it's real blood running as the kill occurred. And his legs are twisted all over the place, so his legs are either broken, and his pants are fully sculpted with cuts. So it wasn't just one blow that killed him. Essentially, it's the big bloody blow on his back. Try and say that fast. Big bloody blow on his black back. But very cool texture on his pants and the coloring, the seam lines up the side, the folds. And check out his hands here. This is what makes me think that he's not human. Very weird, really crazy, weird stuff on his hands. Very creature-like. And his other arm is 3 times as long as the normal human arm would be, the one that's holding the sickle on the back. And then check out his face here. So reminds me of that movie with Eliza Dushku where there's cannibals in the woods. He reminds me of one of those. And to take this picture, I actually had to take him apart. And then on the back of the base, you see this cool sewer grate on the bottom. Again, just adds detail. And what's crazy is this is the back part of the statue that you never see. And speaking of the back part of the statue, look at the pillar that's going all the way to the top. It's really intricate and detailed, and it looks so cool, man. They did so much design and concentration on this, and the aging on the paint just looks fantastic. And the same can be said about the light pole. This really knocks it out of the park. I'm actually changing where I'm going to put this at because the light pole looks so great and I need to find some height clearance. So again, very aged, very rustic, some ornate designs, can't use proper vocabulary this early in the morning. And look at the light pieces. I like how it's broken. The pieces are plastic, so I wish they would have done a clear resin instead. But for weight purposes, because they are only held in by a magnet, that makes sense. But very cool rustic design. And that same flow with the fence. So it looks broken in the middle because it's two different pieces, but you have all this different aging and wear on there with spikes on the upper and bottom sides. So I'm just showing pictures now so I can edit my sound really easily. So a lot of times I actually surf Facebook while I'm talking about the paint and sculpt because I already know what I'm going to say. I'm pretty good like that. Like if I have a presentation or a meeting, I will do outline, like very raw outline, and then just kind of bullshit the rest of the way. I have a 4K Panasonic, which actually I need to order an extra battery for today, see if Amazon has it so I can get it before NYCC. Craig. Oh, Tim. Hi. So glad you came on. Where were we at? God. People need to stop messaging me. PMs on Facebook have gotten out of control lately, man. I'm getting like 50 a day plus. And so I'm like answering them for the most part once a day, like whenever I have time to sit down. There's another one. What we're on? Oh yeah, we're going to do Hunter now. So again, it's photos, so I can edit my voice later. They don't really see me during this, so I sometimes I make faces at y'all, or I do this, you know, when I'm, and you never know. But so again, there is a ton going on, and we haven't even got to the main character yet. And I think the main character is excellent, but I think everything else I just went over is more excellent. So yeah, it's to me, it's a piece of art. It's not about the character. It's not about, Bloodborne and the Hunter. It's just, this is an awesome, it's kind of a museum statue. Like if you saw this in a museum, you'd be like, that's cool. That's very cool. So let's start at the Hunter, start at his boots as we always do. So he has these huge metallic shin guards that have this weird faded yellow-orange color on them and some brown. And they're strapped in by these awesome looking leather straps and buckles. And it's a different color brown than he has on his boots. And a lot of folds in his boots, and it's very reminiscent of the right time. So to the time period, and they go all the way up almost past his knees where they have another cool buckle and straps. And I think that Prime 1 just does an awesome job with buckles and straps, especially when you think about belts on Prime 1, 1/3 Batman's. And his pants follow the same pattern. And you see a little bit of blood splatter on the right knee and the right top of the boot. And again, great job on the pants. You got some seam lines and some folds. These kind of look like modern day jeans, but I don't know what they wore back in that time period. And moving up to his package, he doesn't have one, which is interesting. It's not interesting, but the belt buckle he has, this I'm a little disappointed in. It is fully sculpted. It does stand out, but it's not as good as the buckles on his boots. It almost looks too long, but again, it might be accurate to the time period. And then moving up his vest, this is where the detail is just out of control. Look at the buckles, the different colors, the layering, the texturing. Looks like real leather. Not only the buckles holding his vest or girdle together, but his sash buckle going all the way from his top to his bottom of his torso. Looks really, really cool. There also is a sheath with a knife on the right side. I don't know if I got any pictures, so I don't know if you're seeing that right now. But then his cape that he's kind of over his shoulders is held together by this sculpted metallic chain. And you see some blood splatters on this. And underneath, he has this little white shirt with some blemishes on it. Again, very reminiscent of the time period. Also makes you think of the time, the fact that he's from a middle class type background or upper class. And then look at his coat flowing in the wind. This is fantastically done. Again, there's some more buckles and straps on the back, and it's flowing in the wind like he just killed this guy, and there's this creepy wind going through. And there's some regular wear that looks like it's not from this current battle, but then the bottom is soaked in blood, and it's fresh blood. And I think they did a really good job on this blood here, a lot better than they did on the base. It almost has a 3D glistening effect to it. Looks like it's coagulated a little bit. Really well done. I just love the flow of this, and the different colors and textures on the cape also look very, very good. Then let's check out his gloves. So again, his left arm gloves with more straps. There's got to be 60 straps on this guy. Good sculpt, good tone, good flat colors. And on the outside, he has kind of this protective gauntlet, very reminiscent of what he has on the outside of his boots. And then the time period specific gun. Really cool with the big barrel and all these intricate markings on the top and the triggers on the back. Fantastic sculpt. And then let's take a look at his other arm, the huge ass sickle axe. I love this, how the handle of it is all strapped up and bloody. Great sculpt on it. And same thing, those straps run all over the axe like it's holding it together, and the blood effect. I wish they would have added some of the blood effect to the that they had on the back of the cape to the axe, kind of make it more coagulated and 3D, but it still looks really good. For me, with statues, the bloodier the better. And then let's move to his portrait, the last thing. So first, his hat looks fantastic. Again, it's torn in the back. I wish I had a hat like this. I'd wear it all the time. And some cool texture on this. Makes it look like real leather. Some pins pushing it together. Sailor's hat almost. And then his face. So first of all, he has the scarf and kind of the outer layers on the neck covering it up. Great folds in it, great sculpt. Some really cool colors. And then you can't really see much. You can see part of his ear and his eyes and his flesh tones, but they look fantastic. I really appreciate his eyes look real. They're glistening. Yeah, pretty cool. You can see a little bit of his hair, but not much. So those are my thoughts on this piece. I love it. I'm a big fan. If you if you just like it, it doesn't matter if you like the character. I'd recommend you picking it up either through Prime One or Sideshow. Compare their shipping rates. If you live in the U.S., go ahead and put the Prime One in your economy cart if it's allowing that. I know sometimes it's turned off lately. But yeah, now I got to take him apart and take him to work in a few days. And I'm pretty sure I know where I'm going to put him, because where I was going to put him, he was not going to fit because he was not tall enough. Yeah, let me know your thoughts on this. Let me know which statue that you have bought and you didn't know anything about the character. So go ahead and drop that comment. If you're not a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe. It helps me out. If you don't want to help me out, you just watch the channel and that helped me out. So fooled you. Also, if you're first getting into this or you're already really into this and you want more exposure to statues, there's a ton of Facebook statue groups out there that are fantastic to join. I'm an admin in a few of them. Go ahead and check out the one in my bio. Click on that link and make sure to say Mr. X sent you so we know to let you in. So really appreciate you guys watching. Until next time, take care. So just kind of a heads up too, I always try and say, I try and get people to comment, because the more comments you have, the more visibility you have. So when I say, tell me about a statue that you bought that you didn't know, I'm trying to get out of the box discussion. And I also really want to know. See you, Matt. Thanks for getting paid while you did this, while you watched this. I am not wearing pants. Yeah, that P1 Goku, #restraint. I tried the orange cola, dude. It was disgusting. I have a 11 pack because I bought a 12 pack. I have 11 left. And anyone that comes over, I try and pawn it off on them. They're all too smart for that. What's up, Jim? You just missed it all. You better start watching from the. Well, I'll erase it in like an hour. Jim Nasty. I better take this off. All right, we'll keep streaming for a little bit. I'm going to go turn the camera off, though. No pants. So I also think I'm going to do a live, not today, and not when everything's so crazy with NYCC, but economy was almost 2-3 months, Dax. But I think eventually I'm going to do a live screen and show you how I edit something. So maybe I'll do both. No way on XM Green Goblin, man. Holy shit, that recorded a lot. That recorded almost 30 minutes, man. Or more than that, 38 minutes. So I'm importing that. That'll take about 10 minutes to import. I have a bat down here. I don't think so. Although my bat cave did ship. I just got that custom bat cave shipped. Deal with it. Well, I'm glad you told me now after I filmed the review, Tim. Thanks a lot. What's up, Slash? Slash. That's a cool name. I like that. I like your voice, Mac. I didn't keep watching last night. I should have. I would have. I was in bed, I think, when you guys cut off. When I started getting really inappropriate about TJ. I have a custom. Tim, you have the Nightcrawler coming too, Franco's, right? Blah, I'm gonna do that. I gotta film it. I'm gonna film it after NYCC. So in sometime in October, I'm actually gonna film. So what I'm doing is of the pieces I've never reviewed, I'm filming those. I'm gonna film one today, an Alien vs Predator piece, and then so I filmed them, and then I'm also gonna film a for sale statue and throw it out to you guys first. It's not going to be, I mean, it's not going to be like, half price retail or anything. So don't get excited. I'm not going to budge on the prices because, without being too cocky, I don't need the money. But yeah. Have I started reading Omnibus? I see some in the background. Yeah. So I started the Venom, but I've already read most of those individually when I was young, but it's still a good refresher. I blame Jem for that shit. Yeah, that's getting addicting. But I just don't have time. It's because whenever I have free time, I do this. So, custom Venom. I'm getting. I have 5 more custom Venoms coming, so I don't know which one you're talking about. Yeah, blah. If you guys pay via gift or via fees, I'm okay with that. Or shit, if you pay gift too. Yes. No idea. So that was the prototype Slash that he posted. So if you do the math, he's having HCT do it. So it's usually about 3 months. So I would guess end of the year, January. because same thing with Drax and Maestro. About 3 months after he posts it, the prototype, because he gets to keep those, being the art director. Well, I can tell you this. So I have 4 Venoms, like custom Venoms, that are all similar like that. They're creature-esque, and they are sitting on a, building or gargoyle or something like that. So I think eventually you do. You so got to change your name, Blahnoid. Because when I see, so on my phone, like even right now, I don't get notifications for emails because I get 300 or 400 of those a day, but I get notifications for not audible notifications, but I'll have 80 or 90 notifications after an hour, and I'll just scroll through them really quick, and I see someone commented blah annoyed, and I always forget that it's your name, and I think it's somebody just being a troll every single time. I'm just like, why the fuck you watching if you're annoyed? Then I figure out it's you and you made a comment, and yeah, every time, dude. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I like him actually. So, yep. So it's Saturday. So gonna go to the grocery store soon. Me and the wife, we do that, and we always get steak. We grill out. What is my next statue coming? I have Batman and Cave custom that just shipped. I got the shipping notice. The custom Surfer on Galactus's hand should be shipping next week. Alejandro Pereira, the Sabretooth that I was getting painted, he's shipping that on Monday. And then there's one more custom coming next week. Oh, I think my custom werewolf is coming next week. All right. So, but anyway, we'll go to the grocery store. We get that shit. We'll come back here. We have 2 football games, 2 kids football games, and 1 volleyball game today. I think those are at noon, 1 and 2. So we got to take separate cars because we got to leave 1 before it ends and take 1 kid over there. Huskers, as I said, are going to get destroyed tonight, but I'm still going to watch. And what people got to understand about my love for the Huskers is I went to school there when we were national champions. So if you went to college at, Clemson last year, you were going to be a Clemson fan for the rest of your life, no matter if they start sucking or not. It's just a fact. Sorry. Let's see. Yeah, so do that, and then I got to film. Why I Went Broke in September, because that's going to air on Monday. I already filmed Extreme Arrivals, I already filmed that. That's going to air Tuesday. Wednesday morning, I'm going to come live to you guys from the airport for Comic-Con, and then live a few other times in the day. Or we might collaborate, have some other channels going on. And then I got to film. Shit, I have so many things I got to film. I still film like 7, 8 a week, and I can't keep up. I don't remember off the top of my head, Slash. So Venom, Lethal Venom, I was doing so fucking good until this week. I had 4, and I've more than doubled that in the last week. More than doubled, yeah. So I'm glad I didn't shoot it. In fact, I bought something for $1,500 this morning at 4 a.m, laying in bed. That Henry Cavill Art Department Studios bust. I got the last one. That's what I like to hear. So, yep, wife is probably waiting on me to go to the grocery store, but she can wait. I got to pack this up, take it to work on Monday. So I am ARC. It's almost an addiction, and when you haven't unboxed anything for a while, believe it or not, I know how normal people go months and they start to feel it. I honestly will go a few days or a week or 2 and feel it. And when I open it up and as I look at each piece, I think the problem with my overbuying, not the only problem, but I lose appreciation for the statues unless I spend time looking at them. So one of the things, when I do reviews on older pieces I haven't reviewed yet, or I redo a display, I take, or I clean statues, which thankfully my basement doesn't have a ton of dust. So it's only like twice a year I need to do that. And I do it when I rearrange a display. I get the love and appreciation. I have a lot. I mean, easily over 100. So I think that's the one problem with buying so many. And, a lot of people bash cluttered displays, which I don't think that's cluttered, but that just could be my sickness. I like it. I think you do lose out on the appreciation of each single piece, though, when it's cluttered like that, unless you individually take them down. So I will agree with that. Goodbye, Mrs. Mania. Thanks for watching. Well, I mean, are you asking what I have on PO or what I currently own? They're about the same, to be honest with you. So, all right. So this one was just me talking to you guys. I can delete that. Yeah. Well, and I'm going to start selling some, a lot of sideshow stuff I'm going to sell. The YouTube channel. Hey, Gavin. The Revan, you mean Renz? But the YouTube channel, the problem is, I do it for fun, but of course I do want, that sucks. God, sorry, Renz. I do it for fun, but one big part of it is, you want to get more views. So you try and do creative out of it. I'm not going to compromise anything though. I'm not going to compromise anything, but, I get a lot more views on licensed pieces, even though I would think it's the opposite because more people want to see customs because they can't see it in hand. But I get a lot more views on licensed pieces, so that's unfortunate. Hey, Gavin. I think I said that already, but yeah, that's kind of shady. This month, and actually it'll be the third one because I've done the room tour months back, but I'm going to do the entryway this time. So since this video is going to be deleted, I'll let you 30 people who are watching know. I'm going to do the entryway. So that's when you walk. This is a basement, if you didn't know that. But you come in, and first I have some autographed Star Wars stuff. If you're interested in that, go check out that video. But so that's right there. That's probably one of my most expensive pieces. It's a giant collage with autographs from Anthony Daniels, Carrie Fisher, Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill, George Lucas, Frank Oz, James Earl Jones, and props in there. And then when you hit the bottom, it's my new throne collection where it's at now. So I'm actually waiting. I'm getting Mr. Sinister on throne. Supposed to ship beginning of October. Once that comes in, I'm going to do the room tour of the throne collection, and then I have to decide if I want the Avengers Cosmic stuff with it. So cool. Slash, do you have it yet? Thanks, Renz. Really appreciate it. No, Gavin, for space purposes, I haven't bought 1-to-1. I do have a ton of busts, though. What do you think, Slash? Sideshow pieces, it's not necessarily, I'm saying, it's just coincidentally sideshow pieces. I'm going through all the pieces that I have, and If I have more than one of that character, which some of them I have 3, if not 10, and I have more coming, I take the ones I like the least of that character. And ironically, a lot of it is Sideshow stuff. So it's not a bash on Sideshow. There are certain Sideshow pieces, like Sideshow's new Wolverine premium format, I will never sell. Sideshow's Rogue, that's going to be hard to sell, even though I have 2 amazing custom Rogues coming in. Yeah, Craig, I review every piece that I get in. If it's a piece that's been out for a while, I don't air it. If it's a brand new piece, I air it right away to try and beat everyone else. Yeah, I think the werewolf that they just came out with, I really was all into that, but I have 2 other werewolves, and somebody, I think it was Jack, Jackal, I don't know how to pronounce his name. He told me it looks like a fox, and I can't get that out of my head now. So I actually make a funny remark about that in the video I'm airing on Tuesday. The What Does the Fox Say? And I'm talking about that piece. But it's made by the another message from someone I don't know. It's made by the same factory that makes most of the custom pieces that I have. Almost all, I'm going to list what I'm selling here first, Craig, but I'm just being, transparent with you guys. It's not, I'm pretty much selling at going market prices. I'm not going to sell them at half price. I'm not going to, crazy. Yeah, sorry. I'm reading comments and talking at the same time. So I'm going to sell them, and I'm not going to budge on the prices because I don't need the money. Any pieces from the MCU, specific like movie pieces? I don't think so. Will you be receiving another Gigi? What's a Gigi? Blah. I don't know what you're asking. Oh yeah, I am. I'm getting a custom one. So Eugene, yeah. So I have a storage room down here that's mostly full. I have a warehouse that is for one of my companies that I want to say it's approximately 15 pallets stacked 3 high that I keep all the boxes in. And yeah, it's just becoming a huge problem. I got to figure something out. Chris, that's my most common question, and I dodge it all the time. So eventually I'll copy Gem and make a all right, Casey. I got the notification on that one. Is the torso swivel a little? I think one nut. Did you ask me that on Facebook? I have a whole bunch of Facebook comments I haven't responded to yet. Yeah, I'll check for you, man. I'll get to it this weekend and take a look. No, Jem. So Jem and I talk a lot, and I highly respect him. Him and I mostly talk about YouTube stuff. He helps me out. I think he helps me out more than I help him. But our most common question is, "What do you do for a living?" I mean, we get asked that all the time because obviously, we spend a lot of money on this stuff, and I just choose not to answer it because few people are snipers like Mr. Sinister, who can find out in real life. But it's frankly just no one else's business, and I don't like those parts of my life to bleed over to these parts of my life. But oh, I know, Master Hoarder. I'll be happy if they don't lose by 60. So yeah. So I just, yeah, I'll tell you this. I'm not a lottery winner. I haven't inherited anything that I haven't spent. Uh, yeah, I've been really fortunate in a lot of stuff that's happened business wise, and I work a lot of hours and I work very hard. Well, technically, all of you are watching this right now, making me money. So you do work for me. So you guys want to know how much you make on YouTube? Right now, I have almost 4,000 subs, and I release a video. Probably, I release about 15 to 20 videos a month, or about 20 minutes each. And oh yeah, Mac knows how much you make. The answer is nothing. You make almost nothing. Now the guys who have millions of views, they make a lot of money. Like I saw this guy on Celebrity Family Feud we were watching. He makes $8 million a month doing YouTube. So yeah, I don't make 0.1% of that. Yeah, and that's something, with respect, Arc, everyone asks that, so what if I did tell you what I did for a living? And I do multiple things, first of all, but let's hypothetically say it was one job that funded all this, which is not how it works. But let's say it was. Do you think they're hiring for people with zero experience to make that salary and that money tomorrow? And I mean that respectfully. They're not. It's not something that, oh, I can do that. Yeah. Does that make sense? Yeah, I know, Mac. That's why I like a lot of the stuff I see you doing. I'm like, that guy's smart. And after NYCC, I actually have a bunch of announcements. Yeah, I know one that they do expect it though. It's like, first of all, if I told you what I did and I said that, I mean, and I make good money. I mean, I'll tell you this. So last year, 2018, I paid, if you include Social Security, uh, state tax, income tax, not sales tax. I paid about $209,000 total. Like at the end of the year, I still owed 57,000. So that kind of gives you an idea of my income. But if I told you, okay, this is how I do it, with respect, you can't go do that tomorrow. You can't go do that in a year. It takes, a lot of different things going on. So Robert, Primal and Joker, first of all, I'm jealous. That's an awesome piece. Second of all, they've always been responsive to me. So yeah, Mac, that's what some of my announcements are going to be. You got it, man. If you want to go 10,000 subs, which is kind of the statute goal right now. First of all, I don't want to say that's easy, but that's going to happen. It's not like it's not going to happen. Second of all, that's where you're going to cap. Maybe 20 at the best. Maybe 20. And but if you want 100,000, which when I start a project, I don't start something small. I started this in January. I want 100,000, and I'm not going to do that with statues. However, I'm always going to do the same amount and same statue content on this channel because I love it. I have such a big passion, and you guys who kind of started the channel, that's why you watch it. So I would never want to do that to you guys. So I have some big, cool plans regarding different statue content that'll kind of keep the statue stuff running for at least the next 24 months. Gavin, my wife does not. So it's been a big controversy I can't get into them because she does not. So Slash, it depends on how much you make. Their income brackets here. Yeah. Yeah, so some people, we get taxed at almost 45% of our income, where some people it's 15%. So it completely depends how much you make. And there's this fucked up gap that I fall in where you just get robbed. You get absolutely robbed. Like I told you, I paid over 200,000. Where if you make $2 million a year, which I don't, and they want to take 300,000, it's no big deal. But if you make $500,000 and they want to take 200,000, that's a big deal. So that's kind of how it's fucked up. But so the really rich people that are making millions and millions, they get taxed at a very similar rate to the people making, the 300 to $700,000 range, which is why it's fucked up. But it's okay. Taxes pay for school supply. No, we got to every year. I got to spend like now. So those of you that have young kids. You'll appreciate this. When I went to school, you brought your notebooks and shit like that, and you were good. But now we have to pay for Kleenexes and other kids' school supplies, not our own kids. It is just fucked up. And now this is what they do. So my wife is very thrifty, very, very thrifty. So she does a great job saving us money where we need to, which is crazy with how I spend. But if she can spend an extra 20 minutes and save us $6, she will, where I'm completely opposite. But anyway, now what they do for school is, they give you a list of classroom shit you need to buy for other kids. So my wife would be very, very thrifty. She'd go out there and save us a lot of money and get stuff on sale. Now they say, write us a check for $75. That's just fucked up. Exactly, Casey. You know what pisses me off about I'm not going to get because I don't have time. I need to make videos for you, Tim. You know what pisses me off about the politicians, and I'm not talking about left or right. I'm not going into that at all. But what pisses me off is how they get free health care. If they don't get their way, they can strike and still be paid. Essentially, it's like, what the fuck is that? And they get free health care. I don't get that. I actually, I'm still young enough, barely, where I can think about politics, but I think it's so crooked. And I think that if somebody who's not crooked gets into it, you almost have to go crooked to stay in it. So my wife does give me shit, but I'm the sole earner. So, and she knows it makes me happy. And there is revenue streams coming from this. So that helps. But she knows it makes me happy. She knows that there are much worse hobbies out there. The thing about collecting, you will get some of the money back. So, for example, let's just talk about this. So, let's say I have $100,000 worth of statues, but let's say I have $100,000, and say I want to get out of the hobby. Realistically, I may be able to break even. I may be able to profit, but just conservatively, let's say I can get 75,000, which with a lot of the rare pieces I have, that's unlikely. I probably get a lot more. But so I spent 25,000 on this, and yeah, exactly, Tim, exactly. And I spent 25,000. for a hobby I've been doing this probably four plus years now. So, I'm not getting out anytime soon. So 6, 7 year hobby. So I spend $4,000 or $5,000 a year. Think about people that go gambling, people that spend that on alcohol, people spend that on cigarettes in a year. So realistically, yeah, I think you have to go into collecting expecting to lose money in the end. It's kind of like yeah, gambling. Who gambles and collects statues? So just being very transparent with you guys. I used to collect other stuff, but my hobby from like 2000 2010 was Texas Hold'em, and I actually did very well. I'd go to Vegas about 4 or 5 times a year, and I do the local casinos weekly. I did pretty well each year. I did make money. Some years I made a lot of money. That's not where my money came from, but my wife never remembered that. My wife would remember the bad beats. She would remember, where if she came to Vegas with me, which she'd come like one out of 4 trips, uh, where I go play poker and then I find her an hour later and I'm down $2,000 because I had trip aces on the flop and the guy got a one outer. Believe it or not, it's happened, and you lose $2,000. So she likes this hobby better than that because we still have the money. Thanks, Craig, man. Take care. I agree, Sheldon. It's entertainment you're paying for. So anyway, now when I do gamble, so for example, if I go to Vegas, usually it's like a 3 or 4 day trip, and I try and go once a year. I haven't gone this year. I went in November last. I'll bring about three or 4 grand to spend at the tables, and I will plan to lose it. That is my plan. So when I go home without it, I'm not upset. I'm not sad. That was the money I spent. And usually I don't lose it. But, and there's been times I remember not last year, but I think it was September of 2017. I get up really early and no matter where I am. So, like when we were in Disney World last week, I was getting up at 2 a.m. my time. Exactly, one nut. But anyway, so I sat down at the table at 5 a.m. because I woke up and was ready to go. And I think it was like I started at the 1-3 game at Aria. I like playing at Aria. And I bought in for 300. And at 3 a.m. the next morning, so 22 hours later, I walked away from a 5-10 table with $12,000. So there are times like that are really good. Oh, that sucks, Tim. Yeah, I think you got to find. I agree, Zanes. I think that's going to be more sought after than him because he's a much more popular character. So I don't. Does anyone know what the edition size is on it? This is what I like, man. Chris, what is my most expensive piece? So I think there's 2 answers to that. One is the one I paid the most for, and that's the custom Magneto vs. Sentinel prototype. Um, but I think, which I could make my money back. I'm trying to think of a piece that if I sold today, probably my most expensive piece I could get money for. Maybe my custom Silver Surfer, or I don't know how much Sideshow's Legendary Wolf is going for. I have that too. Venoms are at the office, man. I just posted a picture in the Venom group, though. Wolverine versus Wendigo. I think right now, since it's hot, Tim, I think you could get 3,500 for it. I don't play computer games. One nut. Just read your blackjack comment. Have I sold a piece that I regret? So I haven't sold a piece, but I've canceled POs before, and then that I've regretted. So ever since then, especially since I started the channel this year, if I get something, I rarely cancel a PO because I figure I can get it, review it for the channel. Maybe it'll make me $50. So if I lose $50 on it, $3,500, and it's actually $4,000, and it's yours, Tim, because mine was a kit. Eric, my crown jewel actually is not a statue. It is right behind the computer. I have a Michael Jackson authenticated PSA signed guitar. That is probably my crown jewel. And that's probably my most expensive piece. I could get at least 5,000, if not 6,000 for it. If not more, if I found the right buyer. Have you always collected at this rate, or has your enjoyment of making vids and reviews increased your want and excitement for new and additional pieces? I've always collected at this rate. So the reason I started the channel is I didn't advertise my collection much, but a core group of people that I was close to in the communities, I'd show shit, here and there. They knew how big my collection was. And I kept getting, no, I'm not wearing pants. I kept getting the fact that, no, I haven't started selling them yet. One nut. I haven't sold anything. I kept getting, you need to share, you need to review pieces. You get so many. So I did the channel because of that. And then I found out I really like doing the channel. So, I mean, I do this selfishly because it's definitely not worth the money. I probably make about 30 cents an hour. Yeah, Slash, that's another reason why I'm selling some pieces is because I will run out of space. My rule is I don't buy anything unless I know where I'm going to put it. There's very few exceptions to that. Every once in a while, that'll happen. I've been collecting statues about 4 years. I've been collecting memorabilia for about 2 to 3 years before that. Julio, if you're talking about statues, what I currently have, I actually have it on a spreadsheet, but it would be over 100. Thanks, Gavin. All right, 8:52. Still got time. Yes. So, Nick, you're actually going to see this in a video if you watch it. I have T800 on order. I paid in full for shipping in June, and the fuckers still have not shipped it yet. It's Queen Studios distribution. So I'm really fucking pissed at them. I message them every 2 weeks. Any update? No, not yet. Any update? But I also have their Heath Ledger bust. I have their Thanos ordered. I have their Wonder Woman ordered. Tiger J custom Venom. Tiger J has a Venom? I was not aware of that. Am I going to buy anything at NYCC? Probably. I'll have to bribe some cops. Oh, that one. Okay, the old one. I know what you're talking about. Hang on, I'll NYCC. No, I'm not planning on buying anything. I am planning on spending a lot of money on entertainment, not naked ladies. Yes, Sinister on Throne is coming. Yes, so the Tiger J Venom, I actually had an opportunity. Adam, SPOHN in Phoenix is selling it if anyone wants it. It's too big. Yeah, I think Renz, I think eventually there's going to be an end to it. You know, I recently started getting into comics. I've been trying to honestly practice hashtag restraint. There's got to be an end. It's going to be the next thing. So this got really big, not because of poker, but because of something else. So this took the place of something else, which I'm not going to tell you guys what it is. It wasn't anything illegal or anything. So eventually something else will come along. Well, Casey, I don't think this is a Queen Studios issue. I think this is a distributor issue. So so the place is called Queen Studios Distribution, but they actually are not associated with Queen Studios. Queen Studios made them change their name to QS Distribution Glorious Toys. So I think the issue is with them. I had that on PO, but I canceled it after the delays. The Rambo, sorry. I went to Denver Comic-Con last year. I live in Denver. Comics, I just got back into comics. So I'm going to start with my favorite characters, Hulk, Venom, Silver Surfer. Hashtag no restraint. Take care, Slash. Thanks for joining in. Yeah, Zanes. See, stuff like that, I see that being the next step. You know, like I know Jem, I don't mean to keep talking about him, but like he's getting into the arcade games now. So Gavin, not to let the cat out of the bag, but I'm going to do a video of that should be airing in the next 2 weeks. But in short, I didn't plan to do a video on it. It is really, really cool. And it's only like, it's kind of like a pre-opening. So most of the stuff isn't open yet, but it's really neat. If you're a fan, plan a trip. I think there are, Sheldon, but most of them actually do a markup. So like they're a distributor and they actually have stores, but they'll do a markup. We stayed at the Contemporary this time, which was it was okay. I mean, it was beautiful, it was nice, but it was so fucking overpriced. You know, and we were never in the room. We were never in the room. And I didn't even take any pictures. I wasn't that impressed. So I tried to with my kids. I tried really hard. That's what she said. To get them into the hobby, they'll come down like the hunter today. Oh, that's cool, and then that's it. All right. Collected this. Thanks, Jay. I appreciate that, man. So, Gene, I didn't have any custom charges, but Brian Wong, the owner of Magicase, he had them shipped in a container to by sea to a warehouse in LA. So that might be why there weren't any custom charges. He might have absorbed them with that shipment or done whatever, and then he shipped it from there. So Dark Knight Rises, are you talking about the Christian Bale one? That one is hashtag restraint right now but I do have Bane coming. The reason why I wasn't going to get it at all because I think the pose is really boring, even though that is, you know, my favorite movie, Batman. But then they announced a third scale Heath Ledger. So Bane on one side, Heath Ledger, Batman in the middle. So I'm trying really hard not to. Here's my opinion. I love you too, Tim, and I will show you next week on gender politics. Well, I don't. Can you be a little more specific with your question, Gavin? Because you could mean a lot of things. No, that is a DF. So there's two DF 120s, then there's a DF 130 right there. So as you can see, it still holds a shitload as a DF 120. I do have a Max over there, and then go watch my room tour. The Wolverine diorama pieces and the horror pieces, they are on Maxes. Yep, it is. Thanks, Sheldon. Appreciate that. So let me just say this, Gavin. I took my family to the Aladdin remake, and it was almost the exact same movie, which is fine, which is what we hoped for. But nonstop, they were talking about woman power and how a woman can run the country, and it's like, just stick to the original story. My opinion is there are many classes of people in this world, gender, race specific, that aren't thought of as equals by a large amount of people. And sometimes it's indirect, sometimes it's always learned behavior, sometimes you may not even know. That's my thought. However, the more attention we draw to that, the more we make it true. So if you continually say, over and over, women are just as good as men, women are just as good as men. Yes, they are. But the more you say it, the more people think there's a gap and the more it's going to be there. That's just my opinion. I think every time we bring attention to that, unless a serious incident has occurred. So, for example, I'm trying to think of something that's not hugely well. So, like, yeah, here's one. So back when all the stories about white cops shooting black people. I don't know all the statistics, so I can't speak onto it whether it's true or not. But if that is a staggering statistic, especially from a percentage standpoint, that needs to be addressed. However, if it's not, and we're just pointing out that it's happening, all we're doing is bringing to everyone's attention, every time we talk about stuff, unless something specific is happening, you're just bringing attention to it, and that makes people think there is a gap. When there isn't a gap, people are equal. Unless you're a troll, then you're a piece of shit, no matter if you're male, female, or what you are. Yeah, the block. So I have about 30 different subjects. Every time I get an idea, I write it down, or I put it in my phone. I have about 30 different things, and that's one of them. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's divisive. Exactly, B-Dub. Exactly. Now, with that being said, I am a middle-aged, not rich, well-off white male. So I rarely feel the effects of what a lot of other people, what a female or someone of a different race or someone of a different sexual orientation may feel. So I don't see what they see. So I may be missing it too. Damn, time goes by talking to you guys. Hour and a half. Holy shit. Dead Cool Pool. Australia. That's one of the, so we're big travelers. We're huge travelers. I thought you were working. And we've always wanted to go to Australia. It's that and Antarctica are the only continents we haven't been to. And we're actually looking at like cruises in Antarctica. But we so want to go to Australia. We almost did in this summer, but it's so expensive, man. We did an Alaskan cruise this summer, actually, Casey. But it's so expensive to go to Australia with our children. It's like, I mean, it's going to be $25,000. So we could do like we're doing an all-inclusive next month that costs $6,000 for 8 or 9 days. So I can't justify that. Hey Sheldon, that will actually be on the room tour I launched in October. So that's with my Avengers pieces. So you'll have to wait. Yeah, right now it is Pop. So we were gonna film until 8 o'clock, and now it's 9 o'clock, so we're still filming. But if you watch the beginning, I did but you guys got to see what I do when I review a statue. So this is gonna be the entryway room tour, Venom. It depends if I like the movie. Actually, you know what? I have no preference, Block. I think if it's awesome, it's awesome. I think a good example of that is the Prime One Justice League 1/3 line. I think they look awesome. For example, the Batman. I do not like Ben Affleck as Batman. I'm sorry. I know that's going to ruffle a lot of feathers. Yeah. No, Mad Max, never was a huge fan of it. But I just get the statues if I like the character or the art and or both. So Matt, can you share what you do for a living and where you're working right now? It's okay if you don't want to, because I never do, but since you're at work and you're obviously stealing money from the company. Did you guys ever see that Office episode where Jim was counting every minute that Dwight took a drink or anything like that, and every time he did, he said, "You're stealing money from the company"? I knew it. I knew it, Mac. I'm indifferent towards it, Gavin. Definitely, I'm definitely going to see it. It may not be in the theater. Yeah, I'm indifferent. I'm probably going to buy it. I still haven't watched Dark Phoenix yet. I'm going to watch that tomorrow. I bought it. I like a lot of the X-Men movies, so like I really enjoyed Apocalypse, but I'll find out tomorrow. Yeah, I bought it when it came out a few weeks ago. Venom's in the Batcave. The only Iron Man statue I currently own and I plan to own is XM Hulkbuster, which came, with the Mark 6. I think it was a 6. I had the Mark 3 from Sideshow, but I got rid of it because the base was too big and it was kind of a boring pose. No, because he always wants them really cheap, Sheldon. Yeah, it's funny. I used to be a Jeopardy fiend, and I'm educated. I do have a master's degree, but I didn't get that right away. So when I graduated high school, I went to college because both my parents have master's degrees, and I went for 3 semesters, and I ended up getting 9 credits total because I partied and drank too much. So then I took a 10-year break. Or no, it wasn't 10 years. I took a 5-year break, and then I started again with 9 credits to my name, and I went all the way to master's degree nonstop while I worked full time and had kids. And I was already making 6 figures before I even got my bachelor's degree. But to me, it was a bucket list. I wanted to hang on the wall that I have a graduate degree. I don't remember how I started talking about that. But oh yeah, so I watch Jeopardy all the freaking time, every day, and I got it from from Senior X, and so him and I, whenever we see each other, which is like twice a year, we'll always watch it, and go against each other. And he's getting old, so he's slower, so I can beat him more often. But he's 76, 7, something like that. But Most of the answers I knew from pop culture references or from reading books or watching movies or a movie that talked about a book or something like that. So I am pretty good with trivia. Yes, someone needs to do a awesome Keaton Batman. I remember seeing that on opening weekend in San Francisco. I was a child and we were visiting my uncle, who so my uncle, my mother, my father, my uncle's they weren't married at the time, but his boyfriend, my uncle lived in San Francisco with his boyfriend, and he also died of AIDS. How stereotypical can you get? But anyway, we went to go see Batman, and they oversold the theater. And this was, one of the first comic book movies, minus Christopher Reeve. But everyone was so excited for this. We had to sit on the stairs in the theater because they allowed us to do that. I am hiring. I pay minimum wage. Venom's not that great, Gabriel. It was very, very disappointing. I think The Block, to answer your question, Iron Studios, that Batman, that is a bunch of bullshit that they're charging that much. It is such a money grab. I won't even consider it. I do have the Hot Toys, the 1/6 Tumbler and the 1/6 '89 Batmobile, which is cool. And I can get like $1,500 for that. I think I paid $900. Howdy, Kevin. Which part of Texas are you in? Do they say howdy? Silver. I'm in grade 12 now. Do you recommend me going to college or take a? Oh, are you really in 12th grade? If you really are, man, take a break. So the reason I failed is not because obviously I think I'm intelligent. I was just burnt out. I wanted some fun. I was just completely burnt out. And nowadays, a degree don't mean shit. Or it's still important, but it doesn't mean what it used to, at least in the U.S. Have I ever cosplayed at Spock? You think I could pull that off? Hey, Nick, I did address it, and I said I don't address it. So sorry, man. Fate. Fate is what we make. Who wants to see T5? I want to see that shit. Or is it 6? Dark Fate. All right, here's something for see how many people are listening. Yeah, Mandalorian will be cool. How much did you guys make when you started working? I made $3.75 an hour. Damn, Captain Ramus is going to win. God, 10.75? That's unbelievable. $24 an hour? What the fuck did you do when you were 14? Did you get tips at least? Jeez, Eric. $15 for the full day. Wow. That's crazy. And it's funny. I assume no one makes those wages now. In this chat, there might be someone. If you're a collector, hopefully you don't make those wages because I don't see how you could collect. But it's funny nowadays how the Netherlands, very cool. I've been to Amsterdam. It's funny how literally we will spend some money to save time. Time is now more important than money. So, for example, when if we do like Universal Studios, we will spend the extra $180 a ticket on the fast passes, so we can go front of the line. It is not worth our time to spend an hour to 2 hours in each line. The $180 to save 6 hours in that day is worth more time. Or tolls in the city. So I live in Denver, and I go to the Colorado Springs about 3 times a month. I have an office down there too. And if I go through the main way of the city, it takes about an hour and a half just to go through Denver. If I take the toll road, it costs $26 a pop, and each way, or maybe not each way, but it costs about $26. That takes me 20 minutes. So I pay more for the time. I only have one the block, and it's that Venom one, and it's okay. I'm not a big fan of it. So I paid $275 if I recall correctly, Venom, but I think they use whatever the charges are, so it could be the fact that it's just a different time period. Yes, Nick, I have the Devilman at my office, which is phenomenal. I think their customer service is horrible. I've talked about that before. And then I bought their Titan, and I actually bought it through Todd at Spec Fiction because I didn't want to deal with Figurama. That could just be the going rate right now, Venom. Yeah, I think Figurama, I think their quality is top notch. I do. Pains me to say that. I swore I'd never buy from them again because the customer service was so bad. So I did, Zanes. I used to have probably 40 pages of those, but when I moved out when I was 18, and I think I have one brother, he was already moved out. My mother, not maliciously, she threw all of our stuff away. She threw comics, she threw comic book cards, she threw we probably had about 80 video games, and we had Sega Saturn, Sega CD, PlayStation. She threw all that away. She just thought it was junk. So so I canceled Ecto 1 because of the delays. It was so expensive and the delays. I actually have the 4-figure Ghostbuster set from Blitzway. I have it. And it's stupid without the Ecto 1, so I need to sell it sometime. No, I want to try painting, but I'm really bad at detail and my hand isn't steady for none of your business why. So I've never tried kits. I'm getting the XM Gambit and 2 custom Gambits. Favorite non-comic book based movie? That's hard. That's what she said. One of my favorite movies, not, it's hard to pick your favorite, but like in my top 5 is Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith. I love that movie. $99, go Knowles. My next custom piece, I just got shipping tracking information for the big quarter scale Batman on Cave. So that'll probably arrive when I'm in New York Comic Con. Oh yeah, Shawshank, duh. See, that's why I said it's so hard to pick. Shawshank is fucking phenomenal. Super Mario, Dennis Hopper, baby. When I was a kid, that was awesome. No, because I've in the last 3 days or 2 days, I've bought 4 statues. Lethal. Question: hang on, if I solve a Rubik's Cube, would you hire me then? All right, hang on. There's so many here. In your dealings, have you read any word on the Caleb Viking Thor that was canceled? So no one's picking it up to my knowledge. I don't know what the rules are for that because he sold it to XM. I don't know if he can resell it to a custom commissioner. You should really hit up Alex Thomas since he works for the, or not Alex. Yeah, that's his last. I don't know what his last name is. Rad Titan, Alex. Hit him up. See if he can get you any info on it. Which prison? One Nut. Do you think you'll get a quarter? Do you think XM will get a quarter? Who knows, man? I think so. I'm sure I'm going to see. I've only met Ben once, and I'm sure I'm going to talk to him this next week with XM. But something big is coming with XM. My gut tells me something huge. You know how Prime One just announced all those licenses like 6 months ago? Something big is going to happen. Yeah, generally that's not some very cool comments. Shawshank? That's cool. No, not at all. The collector, man. So this is one of those pride things for me because everyone's telling me I need to do it, and I know I need to do it. That's why at the beginning I wrote fast forward if you want. But if it helps you out, it is exactly 1 minute. So the second that intro starts, so say it starts at 49 seconds, you can just move the tab to 1 minute and 49 seconds to skip over it. The most expensive Venom statue that I have, I got everything at retail, so it's hard for me to say. Most of the customs are around 1,000. So I had to change the intro Venom because there were some pieces that were no longer coming to the Extreme Collection. I will not comment on that, Captain Ramus. No, I didn't. God. Shit's just blowing up. Man, you know what's funny? The longer we're on here, the more viewers we get. So I'll probably redo the intro in the next 3 months. A lot of those ones at the beginning, the custom Sentinel versus X-Men pieces, I'm getting most of them fourth quarter. So after I get them, maybe I'll cut it. I'm not sure what you're saying, Gavin. Yeah, Vibranium Jim. That is my favorite piece. I will never sell that unless my wife divorces me. So that's probably the only reason I would sell it. Zane's awesome. Yeah, it is. XM has been killing it lately. That's why I think they're going to do some big things. Sheldon, what kind of toys do my children like? So they're 7, 9, and 11. They are now out of the toys with the exception of Legos. They're in video games and Legos now and sports. Those are kind of what occupies 90% of their time, and tablets. But for example, we were just in Disney Springs, and I spent $390 at the Lego store. So they love Legos. Yeah. Yeah, especially for me, Ren. So at night, that's my time to chill, man. That is, I need to recharge, refresh for the next day. Vibranium Jim, not yet, but about 4 custom commissioners have announced they're going to do a Fantastic Four line. That's all they've announced. So kind of keep your ear to the ground. Robots. I mean, I have a Terminator and a RoboCop, but that's about it. Those are cyborgs there. I'm going to film it this weekend, Nick. So I'm not sure. Because the problem is I fly to New York on Wednesday morning, and I'm going to be at Comic-Con Thursday, Friday, and I plan on releasing 3 videos, specific videos that I'm going to make while I'm there, and I want to do that back to back to back. So everything's getting pushed back, and then I'm going to come home, and I have 4 new custom statues to open that I need to get reviewed right away. So, and then we played outside when I was young, nonstop, every day, no matter what the temp was. Is there a statue I want to see made or redone that hasn't been done yet? I would love to see. I don't know. No, we didn't go to Universal or Orlando, Eric, because the rides are a little too adult for my children. So they don't like roller coasters, even though I love them. How many X-Men pieces do you have? I probably have about 14 right now and about 20 more coming. Hi, Lion. Join some Facebook statue groups. That's a good place to start. I don't have the one-on-one RoboCop bust. I only have villain bust with one exception. First 4 figures. Yeah, I have the wolf. I can't remember the name of it, but the big wolf with the sword in his mouth. It does look cheap in real life. The sculpt is really good, but the material looks plasticky. Yeah, Casey, that's going to be one of the videos will be statue videos. So that I'm going to do close-ups of everything. Outside almost killed me as a kid. So busts, I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 16 busts. And then I think like 6 more coming. Yeah, I'd get my whole body Deadpool pool on a throne. Yeah, man, that might be my next step because Legos technically are cheaper than statues. Yeah, I think XM's going to come out with some incredible stuff here. XM's X-Men vs. Sentinel, so I have it ordered. I'm regretting it now because of the space and because of Iron Studios reveals. But I don't know. I'd love to see it in person. I may cancel it, which will suck, but and then Batman Sanity, I think is freaking amazing. If I didn't have already so many quarter scale Batman pieces, I would buy that in a second, and that would be the one display. So if you think about it, I mean, you're getting like 14 1/6 scale pieces in it. Yeah, so check out my profile, High Lion, my description. There's a link there, and just in the question, say Mr. X sent you. Yeah, I'm getting the Queen Studios Loki. Yeah. Did you see I posted that as a poll in SCU the other day, the block? Did you? I don't know if you're asking about Rocky because of that. I voted for Rocky 4. I think the story is better in Rocky 1, but I physically enjoy Rocky 4 more. Iron Studios Daredevil piece is not for me. I like the Sideshow one better. I can't tell you why. It's just a personal preference. XM Darkseid versus Justice League, I will see on Thursday in person. So I am ecstatic about seeing that. It's going to be there on Thursday. No, I'm for Bus, I'm only doing villains. I must break you. Yeah, so I was a little disappointed by Creed 2, to be honest with you, because I was hoping for the same, feelings. Yeah, so pop culture fate. I don't know how to answer that, man. Yeah, I don't know how to answer that. It's still highly sought after though, so I'm not really regretting it. Like I could sell it tomorrow for retail and probably sell it in a day. Thanos on Throne. You should be able to get that though. There's a lot of people selling it retail. Sheldon, where's my light? Right there. But I'm getting a custom one. I pity the fool. All right. I think it's time to call it, guys. Yeah, I like some of the old John Carpenter stuff, but you gotta go to the grocery store. How many? Probably like 70. I gotta go to the grocery store, erase this because this is only for you guys. Yeah, I appreciate you tuning in. Moving forward, all live videos, with the exception of Comic-Con at the airport. I'm gonna delete after I film. So kind of as a thank you to you guys for yeah, you saw that. I really don't wear pants at home. Well, my kids have people spend the night all the fucking time. And so I'll know because my wife will set out pants laying out for me. So, but take care, guys. Yes, I will get Alex Ross. I'm going to post something in the community on YouTube. Or actually, no. Wednesday morning, the live video I'm going to make, comment on that. So it's going to be Wednesday morning. My flight leaves at 7, so it'll be like 6 a.m. Mountain Time. But comment on that if there's something specific you want me to catch, and I'll make sure I catch it. So thanks so much, guys. I'm out.